All right, guys, welcome to the Utah Jazz post-game show on the Hoops Nerd channel. Brutal loss for the Utah Jazz against the Oklahoma City Thunder. This was the third game in 4 nights, back end of a back-to-back, and the Jazz had a chance to pull this one out and couldn't. And it was basically because of Paul George, who is, when Paul George is playing like this, he's unstoppable. He's the prototypical wing, superstar wing you need to win games, where he hits shots, defends. Paul George tonight, 43 points. Let's see. Paul George, 43 points in 40 minutes, 15 for 25 from the field, so 60%. He was unstoppable for Utah. It didn't matter who guarded him, what they did. He got his points. It was incredible. 5 for 10 from 3, 8 for 10 from the line, 14 rebounds, 6 assists. Just superstar night for Paul George. If you're an OKC fan, that re-signing looks really good. They have, I think, the best defense in the league and one of the best records in the league. Just the Thunder are really tough to beat. When you have defense and a superstar like Paul George who's hitting like that, hard to beat. And as good as Paul George was, tonight Russell Westbrook was 3 for 17. He did have 12 rebounds, 9 assists, but 6 turnovers. The Jazz squandered an opportunity when Russell Westbrook had I can't say that name. It's the hardest name to say in the freaking league. Westbrook had a bad night. And so it's frustrating for the Jazz. I know they were tired, and that explains a lot of the missed shots. Like, the Jazz just missed shots. Really, this game was like Paul George was just electric. I think Jeremy Grant had a big night. He did in the first half for sure. 15 points. I think he was like 6 for 6 at one point. Obviously slowed down, but Jeremy Grant and Paul George and Steven Adams really won this game for the Thunder. For the Jazz, we can complain about the refs, and they were not good tonight. Like that foul that Westbrook did when Donovan was in the open floor that they didn't call is ludicrous and ridiculous, and Westbrook shouldn't have even been in the game to block and foul Mitchell on the last play. But the Jazz can't complain about the refs. They missed shots. They just missed shots. Donovan had a nice night tonight, 7 for 17, and everyone will be like, whoa, nice night. For Donovan right now, that's a good night. 2 for 8 from 3, 4 for 6 from the line with one really big miss. But he had 9 rebounds, 6 assists. He was facilitating much, much better and had a +3 in a game the Jazz lost. So Donovan had a nice night. His shooting will come around, guys. And this game proved that when he's hitting shots, the Jazz are incredibly tough to beat. And, on a night when it took a 43-point performance from Paul George, the Jazz are the third game in 4 nights, back end of a back-to-back. The end of the game, you could tell they were just tired because their shooting just tanked. 32% from 3 and 45% from the field. Rudy missed an easy one at the rim at the end. There was just a lot of misses. Joe Ingles, if he hits that corner 3 that Jay Crowder puts back, that's the game. So many missed shots that could have gone in. Donovan had a few. Just if he could just make one more 3, it's a different game, a different outcome. And it just wasn't. And that's how it is. Sometimes on these scheduled losses, you just lose because you don't have the legs to make shots. You miss shots that you normally would. It happens. Rough loss. Dante missed a wide open 3. On the other hand, we had Thabo Sefolosha, who was hitting corner 3s. He was 3 for 3 tonight. Everyone else who was exhausted was not very good. So thank you at least to Thabo Sefolosha, who kept the Jazz in it in the second quarter whenever he played. But just tough loss for the Jazz. By the way, Rubio had a pretty good night. For all the guys who like to comment about Rubio, we'll talk about Rubio for a second. 14 assists. Rubio was slinging it tonight, and players were making shots. So that's nice to see from Rubio. Vintage Rubio night. And also 5 for 11 and 2 for 4 from 3. Nice night from Rubio. It wasn't really Rubio wasn't the reason the Jazz lost tonight. Rubio was nice. Rudy Gobert was fantastic again. Rudy Gobert's playing at an MVP level right now. He's absolutely an all-star player. And if he doesn't make the all-star team, that's ridiculous. But the Jazz are good. They should have won this game, and they were that tired. So, if you're a Jazz fan, frustrating loss, but it looks like the Jazz are going to be just fine. The defense is there. They've won 2 out of these 5. This 5-game stretch that we've talked about, they're playing really well. They're winning more games than we might have thought they would have even 3 weeks ago. So the Jazz look really good, making shots. Was the was the story tonight. They couldn't make them. So like and subscribe the video, guys. I think we're about to hit 2,000. Shout out to everyone who's been here from the beginning. You guys are the real heroes, the real MVPs. Talk to you later.